Shalom Mishpachim, welcome to His Narrow Bridge. Our time together today is meant to immerse ourselves in the Word of Yahweh. It is meant to be a personal time of connection to the Word for each of us. I will read each word as translated in English in an interlinear Hebrew Bible. These shows are pre-recorded, so I will be in chat when they air. Feel free to use the chat to post anything that comes to your mind as we read the word. We will begin with prayer, followed by time for each of us to say our own personal prayers. Our beloved friend Alan Horvath taught us, make Elohim number one on a list of one. We pray in the name of Elohim, which includes Yahweh, Yeshua, and the Ruach HaKodesh. Thank you, Elohim, for our lives and all you provide. We ask for a hedge of protection around our mishpacha as we pray and study. We love you dearly. We are your children. We come to you with questions as we seek our personal relationships with you. Please help us learn. If any darkness enters our time together, we ask you now to rebuke it. We will now listen to your word as we immerse ourselves in it and let it speak to us. If you're looking for a more narrative version of the word, I recommend you go to hallelujahscriptures.com and order the dramatized audio DVDs, which Alan participated in making. Hallelujah Scriptures also has a reference book of name meanings, which I will use periodically in these studies. Welcome to Genesis 3, the serpent's deception. And note these references to Romans and 2 Peter. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which had made Yahweh Elohim. Okay, so V'chanachash is the serpent. So Nachash, Nun Chet Shin, the seed, the fence, and front teeth. Was is Haya, Hey Yud Hey, more cunning, Arum. Now, that same root of cunning is also the root of nakedness. So there's guttural, the ayin, the eye, man's head, the tent peg, and water, blood. So there's no Yeshua or Yahweh in that word. Then any, mikol, so mem is then or from, kol is all, beast, chayat. So we saw that earlier, the beasts of the sea, chet yud tav, the fence, the arm and the hand, and the crossed sticks. And the field, hashadeh, or hasadeh, and Sadeh with Shin Dalit Hey, the field, cutting, the door, and spirit, which had made. So Asher Asa. Asher is Aleph Shin Resh, headship, man's head and teeth, had made. Asar, Ayin Shin Hey, Asa, to make. So making, spiritual sight and vision, cutting, and spirit, revelation. So when you're making things, you are pulling down spirit with spiritual sight and cutting. I like that metaphor of like molding your clay or your paper. Here's Yahweh, Yud Hey, Vav Hey. Even just looking at the pictures, you could see it's important. Elohim. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem. And he said to the woman, indeed has said Elohim, not you shall eat of every tree of the garden. Okay, so this is the serpent talking. Vayamer. Okay, it says Vayomer. Oh, there's a yo. Okay. So here is yeah, so there's an aleph in there. It's a different type of talking, it looks like to me, with the aleph in the middle. Yomer. To al ha'isha, that's the woman. So woman, aleph shin he, headship, spirit, and pressing, cutting. Okay. Now af, it says it's a conjugation. Af ki amar Elohim. He has said indeed. Okay. Aleph pei. There's a mouth speaking. Headship. So, like God has said indeed. Yahweh has said indeed. Ki. So ki, open palm, the arm in the hand. Omar. So, okay, Aleph Mem Resh for has said, headship, water, man's head. Elohim. Aleph Lamed He Yud Mem. Lo, the no. Okay. Lamed Aleph, the staff and being yoked to Yahweh. Not you shall eat. Tochlu. Okay. So to eat is the crossed sticks, the ox head, the open palm, the staff, and the tent peg. You shall eat not of every Mikol, from kol, tree, eitz, ayin sadi, the eye and the path is a tree. Of the garden, hagan. Okay, so garden, the is the hay. Gan, so the foot and the seed makes a garden. So you shall not, so, and said the woman, vatomer, so it's a different conjugation there. Vatomer, tov, aleph, mem, resh. So this is a mark, a signature, monument, and then omer, headship, water, and headship. So the two, man's head and speaking is all of this. When we speak, it's Yahweh's headship, our own head, and our blood. And said the woman, ha'isha, hey, aleph, shin, hey, to aleph lamed, to the serpent. So lamed is the prefix to, but here el. Okay, so to the serpent, ha-nachash. Hey is the. Nachash again, seed, fence, and teeth makes a serpent. So the serpent is a seed, but it's, in this case it was Satan, the seed of evil. Okay, and said the woman to the serpent, the fruit of the trees of the garden we may eat. She's repeating Yahweh's instructions. Mi peri. So from peri, a fruit, the mouth, headship, and arm and hand. Okay, so a fruit contains the seed, but there's some more meaning you get out of fruit. Eitz is a tree, again. The garden, hagan, Gimel Nun is a garden. Okay, Nochel, we may eat. Okay, Nun, Aleph, Chaf, Kaf, Lamed. Okay, so this is the root. To eat. Headship, palm, staff. But of the fruit. Okay, so that's like, and of the fruit, the tree, of the tree which is in the middle of the garden, has said Elohim, not you shall eat. Okay? It, you should not eat it, mimenu, nor shall you touch it, a different word for it, lest you die, temutnu, temutun, you die. Okay, let's go back through that. But of the fruit, and of the fruit, pri, of the tree, ha'etz, which is, so which, asher, in the middle, betuch, so middle, house, tav, wakuf. So you have a house, crossed sticks, marker, tent peg, and open palm. So how does that represent middle? The Yeshua, the cross. There's a theory that Yeshua, the crucifixion happened at the point of the middle of the earth. Kaf, to subdue, or the work of Yeshua, and nail. So there's depth in every word. The middle of the garden, so there could be a connection to the location of the middle of the garden and the middle of the earth and the crucifixion. But maybe the garden is just in another dimension. It's just insight coming to me. The middle of the earth may be that point, but then we've been hidden from the real location of the garden, which could be similar. And wow, I'm seeing things. Okay. The garden. Amar, said Elohim. Okay. Aleph Mem Resh. What I was seeing was something I had studied about dimensions. For example, if you had a one-dimensional line that became a circle, then the middle of the midpoint of that circle could be considered the middle of that world. And then just expand that analogy to higher dimensions. Okay, so, but of the fruit, umi pri ha'etz. Okay, so, Nemresh, Omar. Okay, Aleph Lamed Hey. Elohim. Lo. Okay, we're up to this. Lo, not you shall eat. Lamed Aleph, the staff and the ox head. Okay, to eat. Tov Aleph Chaf Lamed, and woe, over an O. Mimenu. So they translate it as it, but there's more depth in there. From menu, the new. So water, seed, tent peg. Nor, and not, of Lamed Aleph, shall you touch. Okay, so the U is the U, and touch is Tof Gimel Ayin. So marker, foot, eye, spiritual sight, watch, know. So touching, well, your foot is doing something. You're walking toward or away from Elohim when you touch. And the marker, something physical. and knowing, knowledge, nor shall you touch it, bow, house and tent peg, lest you die. So pen, pay nun, mouth seed, you die, temut tun. Okay, so death, marker, water marker, and tent peg and seed, temutun. Okay. And said the serpent to the woman. So animals could talk, but the serpent was a special, we have no idea what it looked like. It was a special entity. Vav Yud Aleph, okay. Vayomer, and said, Hanachash, the serpent. So Nun Chet Shin. So maybe this gives you a picture of what a serpent could have been. It was probably very beautiful. And said the serpent to Al, El, Aleph Lamed. What I find interesting is the word for no, lo, is also Lamed Aleph. So that's not connected. Okay. Ha'isha, the woman. Aleph Shin He. Lo. Okay, so here's lo, Lamed Aleph. Shirley. Don't call me Shirley. That's from the movie Airplane. Okay. Moot. Mem wav ta. Surely. Water, tent peg, and sticks. You will die. Not surely will you die. Okay. Tuf mem temutun. Okay, so we saw that. Two markers, blood, and going back to chaos. The tent peg, and none of the suffix. Okay, for knows Elohim that in the day you eat of it, then will be opened your eyes, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Okay, so I mean, what does this really mean? There could be several interpretations of what does it mean when you open your eyes and know good and evil. And I bet it's used for various mechanisms of teaching, but I'm not going to go into that. For knows, Kaf Yud. I mean, I guess I'm trying to say that it could be interpreted in different ways to make different points. Okay, Yodea, to know. So God knowing, and knowing here, it's also Yodea. Okay, knowing is a suffix, but Yodea, for knows God. Okay, Yud, the arm and the hand, the door, and spiritual sight and vision. So here's knowing, and through Yeshua, and okay, work. So knowing takes work. You are really asking Yeshua for help, because we cannot know these higher dimensions by ourselves. And the spiritual sight can come through the door to us. So I'm thinking like when a musician composes music like Alan did, and he says that he just received it, it is the spiritual knowing, the word and the ruach in his soul coming through the door of Yeshua to his work, because he has to write it all down and remember it and play it on the guitar. And that is knowing, and knowing that it's right, that it is from Yahweh and not from a demon or other entity. For knows Elohim that in the day, okay, Elohim, Aleph Lamed He Yud Mem, that key, open palm, arm in hand, in the day, Bayom. Okay, in the day. A day is a cycle. It's the earth spinning once. But let's see. Work, action, worship, throw, tent peg, add, secure, and water. Okay, in the day that you eat, we saw the word eat, achlochem. So look at this, eating with two open palms and the staff to force it into your mouth. No, the day that you eat. So think of that you're eating knowledge. What does that mean? It's like you're shoving the knowledge into your body and into your blood too. So I see something here that if you're like grabbing this and you're not ready, that's what I think that's what Yahweh is implying, that people are so willing, they want to know, they want answers to everything, and they'll grab it, and they'll stuff themselves, and they'll misinterpret a lot of it, and then they'll learn things that could get them into a lot of trouble, like whatever it is. Okay, of it, mimenu. So I'm thinking, like, whenever it's using the new, it's a much stronger reference because it has seed and life, in unstoppable motion. Okay, water. Then it will be open. So this is very important. The vav is and, so will be opened. So the nun is probably also part of it. Nafkahu. Okay, so let's look at this. Nun pe kuf chet, just those four letters. To be opened, seed, the mouth, cycles, light, time, and the fence, dividing, protecting, surrounding. So it's like breaking through the fence. I'm just saying what comes to my mind here, but light breaking through the fence, the mouth speaking, and the seed, but it's unstoppable. So as soon as they eat of that fruit, this knowledge, whether it's good or evil knowledge, it's breaking through the fence into their mouth, the light, and it's unstoppable motion. So there was no way back. And that could explain how they descended into the physical world. I'm just going with intuitions here, but I haven't verified any of this. Okay. And your eyes. So, okay, that your eyes will be open. So what is he saying about your eyes? It's your spiritual eye that'll be opened. And Ein, yeah, Ayin Yud Nun Yud is an eye. Einechem is your eyes. So spiritual eye, the seed, and work. Okay. The word in his ruach converging in your soul. Your two arms and your seed is eyes. When you look into somebody's eyes, what do you see? You can see their seed in their eye. They're heirs. Like, if two people are in love and they're looking into each other's eyes, they could see a whole future of their lives together and their offspring. And you will be like God. And, okay, so V'chayitem. I saw the root of Chayim, life, in there. And Chet Yud Yud Tav. Okay, Tem is the suffix, but Chet Yud Yud, 2 arms and revelation, Melta, to be, that kind of being. Like God. So this is the serpent's deception, feeding off of the inner desires of people. Kelohim, like God. Not God, but you will be like God. So Bibles may leave out that word like. K, thinking that the people will become gods if they eat of that fruit. You will be like God, but you won't exactly be God. No one can exactly be God. It's unknowable, unseeable. Okay, so open palm is like, and Elohim. Okay, so that's Elohim, which includes Yeshua and the Ruach HaKodesh. Yahweh, Yeshua and the Ruach HaKodesh. Knowing. Okay, so Yodea, Yodei. Yud, Daleth, Ayin, Yud. So what kind of knowing? Work with the arm in hand, the door, Yeshua, spiritual sight. So the work with your arm and hands through the door, spiritual sight, going both ways through the door, knowing. Good. So good we saw earlier, but the basket of goodness and the tent pegs secure and the sun. If you're secure in Yeshua, family, house, being with a basket of all the provisions you need for life, and your tent pegs are hooked in the ground, then you're walking with Yahweh through Yeshua. That is good. And evil, Ra. Man's head and spiritual sight without Yeshua, without Yahweh, thinking he knows it all, that's evil. So if you know both of those, well, you're confused, you're unbalanced. That's important, the unbalance. If our lives are not balanced, then one force or the other will take over. And you could be too good for the wrong reasons. Okay. So when saw the woman that was good for the tree for food, and that pleasant it was to the eyes, and desirable a tree to make one wise, then she took of its fruit and ate. And she gave also to her husband with her, and he ate. Okay, here is the fall. So when saw the tareh, so here it's a different type of seeing. It's marker, headship, and headship. It's not seeing with the eyes. It's trying to go directly to the headship of Yahweh without Yeshua. Monument, signature. It's like, that's the moment when it happens, like a time index to me. When saw the woman, Ha'isha, the Isha, ox head, front teeth, and the spiritual man. That, ki, kaf yud, open palm, arm in hand, tov. So she was like divining that it's good, really thinking by herself, not really thinking spiritually. But this tov, same word. The tree, ha'etz, for food. Okay, so achal is eating, but ma'achal. So they're creating the word food from that. Now, I've heard it mentioned, like, where are you being fed from? Who is feeding you? Is this church feeding you? Think about that. Where is your food coming from? So we're not talking about an apple, or it's where's your spiritual feeding coming from? It's like people who are trying to figure out all the secrets of how spells or whatever stuff they get into works. That's their food that they're eating. So, okay, lamachal, mem aleph kaf lamed. Okay, you saw the word for food, ox head, open palm, staff. We're not eating oxtails here. No, it's food, open palm, and that. Vachi, and that pleasant. Tof aleph wav hey. Okay, pleasant. What is pleasantness? It's a marker. Headship, tent peg, security. Looks like a false sense of security to me. You're being yoked, you feel secure, but it's a marker. It's also death. That metaphor of death, whenever you see the crossed sticks. Oh my. So if you think about the Yeshua with his arms out, even if he's not on a cross but on a tree, that marker, that was the price to be paid for this sin. Who? Okay. Okay, so the eyes. Pleasant to the eyes and desirable. So we're going to look at desire next, but le'enayim. Okay, lamed ayin yud nun yud mem. To the eyes. Okay, so the spiritual eye, the work, the seed, work. So whenever I see like the arm and the hand, I see that as grounded in the work of the earth. So eyes as part of the body, and desirable. Okay. The mem is the plural for two eyes. And, okay, nechmad, that's a dalid, yeah. Nun chet mem dalid, and desirable. So what is desire? Seed, perpetuate, unstoppable motion, essentially, when you're in desire. Can't stop that desire. The fence and water and the door. So really our desire is for Yeshua, ultimately, as his bride. I think for his seed. And the fence, there's a division, resurrection. Look at that desire for the nechatef. And blood, door. Oh boy, there's so much you can discern. I can't even begin just about desire. I'm sure Tiffany has done studies on desire. But just imagine what that really means. It's the Song of Songs. Ha'etz, ayin sadi, wise, to make wise. okay, to the Shekel. Okay. Wisdom, so tree of knowledge of good and evil, wisdom. What is it saying here? Sharp cutting, pressing, open palm, subdue, the work, the filling of the ruach, arm and hand work, and staff. Okay, the connection between open palm and staff, teacher. So it's saying a lot about wisdom. It requires subduing your self-will, following your teacher, who is Yeshua, protecting and steering you, being a disciple, and doing the work and pressing in. That's wisdom. Okay, but she thought a tree would make her wise. The fruit would make her wise. Okay. Vatikach. Then she took. So this taking is a marker, a monument, time, and fence. So taking the fruit first, it's a marker in time and the division. The fence goes up right away, that there's now a division between. So the first step is taking it as one division, and miprin, of its fruit, so the yud, miprio, okay, its fruit. Okay, so from is the of, mem, pri, the fruit, and o, and ate, vatochal. Okay, so here is the eating. So taking and then putting it in to the mouth and swallowing. Tiffany went over this, of the last chance to spit it out if it tastes bad, and then the swallow, that's the point of no return. Okay, the marker, headship, subduing, and so this is eating. Okay. I'm sure there's more that could be gotten out of that word for eating. What does it really mean to eat of that fruit? And she gave, the T10, to give. Okay, so giving, two markers, man and woman, and the seed. It was unstoppable at that point. She ate it. Is he going to refuse it at this point? What would have happened if Adam refused? Yeah, I mean, he was also tempted because he saw that she didn't die. And very hard for a man to refuse his wife at certain points. Okay, gam, foot, water, also to her husband, leisha, lamed, aleph, yun, shin, hey, headship, hand, teeth, spirit, to her husband. So ish and isha are related. There's just male and female forms. I don't know why they're using isha here for husband. Ima, with her. Okay, ayin mem hey. So together eating, spiritual sight, ruach hakodesh, blood, chaos, and spirit. Two spirits becoming blood. Okay, that's the metaphor I see, that they were both in spirit and they became in flesh. Even though they were made of dust, but Yahweh would have let them have everything. In the garden could be a metaphor too, but it's they could have been fully provided for with anything as long as they obeyed Yahweh. But they went too far, and the serpent tempted them to seek what they were not ready for.
Kiva koras roe yedero mavir tzano tachas shifto oy mavir tzano tachas shifto kiva koras roe yedero mavir tzono tachas shifto kein tavir v'sispor v'simne Uvesivko nefesh kochai, Uvesivko nefesh kochai, Nefesh kochai, Kiva koras roe. Edero Mavir tzono tachas shifto tachas shifto kiva koras roe edero Kiva koras, kiva koras, kiva koras, kiva koras, roe edero, oi mavir tzono, tachas shifto, kein tavir v'sispor v'simne, Oy v'sifkod nefesh, nefesh kochai. V'sach toch kitzcho l'chol b'riyasecha, v'sach toch kitzcho l'chol b'riyasecha, v'sichta eskizadinam, v'sichta eskizadinam. Eskizadinam Berosh Hashana Yikasevun Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yechasemun Berosh Hashana Yikasevun Uvyom Tzom Kippur Yechasemun